And it's just for laughs. You know, we're not going to try to change anybody's mind. We're not going to deal with politics or the sexual revolution. We're just going to have a good time. Don't you think we all deserve it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's what we're doing. So we're bringing you lots of, can you hear me in the booth? We're going to bring you lots of good songs, good dances, and good writing from our own Seymour playwrights group. And so if you will please take a minute to take off your cell phones, turn off your cell phones or pagers. Does anyone use pagers anymore? I don't know, maybe not. I'm not up on this. Okay, and so without further ado, let's have a comedy tonight. Okay.
Something familiar, something peculiar, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Something appealing, something appalling, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Nothing with kings, nothing with crowns. Bring on the lovers, liars, and clowns. Old situations, new complications. Nothing portentous or polite. Tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight. Something convulsive, something repulsive, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Something aesthetic, something frenetic, something for everyone, a comedy tonight. Nothing of gods, nothing of fate. Weighty affairs will just have to wait. Nothing that's normal, nothing that's normal. No recitations to recite. Boots and branches, funerals and chases,
baritones and basses.
A royal curse, no Trojan horse, and a happy ending, of course. Goodness and badness, man in his madness. This time it all turns out alright. Tragedy tomorrow, comedy tonight.
Good afternoon. As you can see, the Primetime Players are out to bring you a lot of laughs this afternoon in a show called Just for Laughs. I want to point out, so there's no mistake, that is spelled F-O-R and not F-O-U-R. So, we've got helping us out today, we have the Seymour Playwrights, a group that meets here monthly, and they wrote the scripts for today's show. Our first segment of the afternoon covers love and courtship. In this scene, Sylvia, Art, Kay, and myself will show how miscommunication might complicate marriage plans. Mary, after that scene, will reveal some of the problems she's encountered in finding a mate. Joan will redefine what it means to be true to her mate. Then Pip will discover something about her car and her auto mechanic in a long-lost scene from a Puccini opera. I play the mechanic in that one. Last in this section, Marie will share the hardship of getting a man with a gun.
So, Pa, how was work today?
Oh, not bad, not bad. Yeah, same old malarkey. Oh, and how was your day of sightseeing?
Oh.
Very good. I showed Mike a lot of Dublin.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I don't even know how I kept up.
That's our Maureen.
You're probably wondering why we asked you to meet us here today.
Well, I figured it was just to show Mike a real Irish pub.
Well, that too, but
Wait, I better call your mother, you know? When I'm not home right on time, she gets all upset and everything, you know.
she'll be here in a little while. I called her. You see, Mike, why don't you...
Well, shouldn't we wait for her?
No, Mike.
Mr. Keenan, let me put it directly. Maureen and I are in love, and we're going to be married, and we'd like your blessing.
Dear, oh dear, I was afraid of this. The wife thought, oh no, Maureen isn't stupid enough to marry this fella, but I had my doubts, I wasn't so sure. She's always been headstrong, you know, not too careful.
Pa!
And yeah, no offense, Mike, no offense. You're all right for an American, I suppose, but we'd always hoped Maureen would marry one of the local lads, you know. Maureen, you know, when you went to work in America, I told you this would happen. You know, when you went to New York, you're even starting to talk like an American. You know, some of the local fellas are still available, you know. Timmy Flynn, you always liked him.
Timmy Flynn is a notorious drunk.
What the good thing is, he'll never lay a hand on you. Passed out cold by 6 p.m. he is, like clockwork.
Enough of this. I'm in love with Mike, and I'm going to marry him. Now admit it, you're only upset because you think Ma is going to raise a stink. I was counting on you to help bring Ma around. That's why we talked to you first.
Well, why did you think that I'd be your advocate? I'm no more fond of losing you than she'll be.
You're not losing me.
Well, I know, we're just gaining a son. Well, the fact is, we'll hardly ever see you.
That's not true. We'll visit you, you'll visit us. You won't have time to miss me, right?
Absolutely. You'll be sick of us.
And we certainly expect you to be around to spoil your grandchildren.
Of course. Spoil them rotten.
Oh, all right. You're a good Catholic.
Yes, sir, I am.
Never been married before.
No, sir.
And just set on this.
Absolutely.
Well, I guess that's that. The Lord sends us our crosses to bear, and we have to bear them as best we can. Well, good luck to the both of you.
Thank you, sir.
And about the wife, I don't know what good I can do, but I'll need a few... Oh, hello, dear.
There you are. I almost missed you, hiding out here in this here corner. What's going on?
No, nothing, dear, nothing. We were just waiting for you.
A likely story. Some things that you're not telling me. Out with it and no shilly-shallying.
All right, well, actually, we've got some good news to tell you.
Well, good news?
Yeah, yes, indeed. These two are going to be married.
What did you say?
Married. They're going to be married.
To each other?
Yeah, that's the plan, yes. Yeah.
Oh, Lord, why have you forsaken me? You're exiling only daughter to a land of heathens and perverts and Protestants. Kill me now. Kill me now.
Look, Miss Keenan, don't be upset. You haven't lost your daughter. You'll still see Maureen, probably more than you do now.
Yeah, we're sure of that, Mary. This is the reason now. We'll be seeing Maureen more often than ever. They promised to settle here in Ireland.
Really?
Well, sure, of course. They assured me that they'd visit us. We'd visit them all the time. Well, what else could that mean? Mike even said we'd be getting tired of seeing them, right, Mike?
Yeah, well, yes, I said
Yeah,
that.
well, so we're all right then, now aren't we, dear?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Well, no apology necessary. Listen, there has been a mistake. We're going to live in New York. Now, we'll visit, and we want you to visit.
What?
Now, Ma, don't.
Oh, Lord! You were more merciful to the Egyptians with their plagues of boils and lizards than you are with me. You had only Judas to betray you. I got me own daughter, like the Bible says. No, how sharper than a serpent's tooth is a toothless child.
marrying my daughter, painful as it is one thing. Whisking her away to that hellhole of a country is entirely another.
It's not a hellhole. I mean, sure, there's more crime there, but there's more museums, more theaters, more athletic teams.
And we both have good jobs in New York.
God, there are jobs here.
Mike is a lawyer in a big firm.
Well, it's all right. He's still young enough to learn an honest trade.
And the advertising firm I'm working for, the third largest in the world, has offered me a permanent position.
So, money, is it? It's all greed, nothing but greed.
No, but we do need to support ourselves. And you want us to be able to afford children, don't you?
Well, yes.
And one of the things, just like Maureen, I have wonderful parents who have sacrificed for me all their life. They deserve a comfortable retirement, and I plan to see that they are well taken care of. And I know Maureen feels the same way about you. Our New York jobs will give us what we need to provide for all of our children's grandparents.
Well, that's very kind of you, Mike. It does you credit. I'm sure that Mary is touched as I am by what you said about caring for us just like her own parents. You know, we've never really considered leaving Ireland, and frankly, we're a little afraid of New York, but...
Wait, now...
But if your parents are comfortable with it, then we are too.
Well, hold on.
What it'll take us a couple of weeks, maybe a month to sell our place here, but by the time you're married, we'll be ready to move in with you.
Oh, Lord, why have you forsaken me?
At 16 years I was blue and sad. Then father said I could find a lad. So out I went to become a wife and find the real love of my life. His name, it was Chris, and the last was McGill. I met him one night picking flowers on the hill. He had lots of charm and a certain kind of touch and a certain kind of eagerness that pleased me very much. So there, 'neath the moon, where romance often springs, I gave him my heart and a few other things. I don't know how long that I stayed upon the hill, but the moon had disappeared, and so had Christopher McGill. I went home and I thought I'd die. Then father said, make another try. So out I went to become a wife and find the real love of my life. Oh, he was a poet, a rhymer was he. He read me some verse he had written for me. He told me they'd move me, these poems, from his pen. And how right he was, because they moved me right into the glen. We stayed till the dawn came and lighted the sky. Then I shook his hand and I bid him goodbye. I never went back, for what I had heard was true, that the poets only write about the things they cannot do. My pa said, watch out for men who think. You'll be much better with men who drink. So out I went to become a wife and find the real love of my life. Oh, he was a soldier, a fine Highland son. He told me about all the battles he'd won. He spent so much time telling me about his might, when one look at him decided me to not put up a fight. We skirmished for hours was that night in the glen, and I found the sword had more might than the pen. But then I got drowsy and snored to my dismay, and he thought it was a bugle and got up and marched away. My pa said, "Daughter, there must be one, someone who's true or too old to run." So I'm still looking to be a wife and find the real love of my life.
Oh, dear, why can't you behave? Why can't you behave? How the hell can you be jealous when you know, baby, I'm your slave? I'm just mad for you, and I'll always be. But naturally, when a custom-tailored vet asks me out for something wet, when the vet begins to pet, I cry hooray. But I'm always true to you, darling, in my fashion. Yes, I'm always true to you, darling, in my way. Mr. Harris, plutocrat, often takes me to the rat. Mr. Rat begins to cry, and I say, hey. But I'm always true to you, darling, in my fashion. Yes, I'm always true to you, darling, in my way. There's a madman known as Mac who is planning to attack. If that mad attack includes a Cadillac, okay. But I'm always true to you, darling, in my fashion. Yes, I'm always true to you, darling, my way. From Milwaukee, Mr. Fritz often takes me to the Ritz. Mr. Fritz invented slits, and slits must pay. But I'm always true to you, darling, in my fashion. Yes, I'm always true to you, darling, in my way. There's an old man known as Tex who is keen to give me checks. But the checks, I fear, mean the tax is here to stay. But I'm always true to you, darling, in my fashion. Yes, I'm always true to you, darling, in my way. Yeah.
Oh, my Chevy Cavalier, I get off check engine light. I can pass inspection when some damn imperfection is causing a rejection. I need your shrewd detection.
Your catalytic
converter is completely rusted through. Swapping for a new one is what you've got to do.
I've really got to run. How fast can this be done?
I can quickly have the part here, but the cost I fear you'll find quite dear.
Try me.
$1,100.
No! 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 That sucks! What does this contraption do?
A catalytic converter is a marvelous invention for cleaning up emissions from your engine. The inside's got a catalyst such as platinum, palladium, or rhodium. It's an isolated chamber built like honeycomb inside. In goes carbon monoxide, passing catalysts on its way through, changing to water and CO2 and O2 molecules then get reduced to oxygen and nitrogen.
So tell me, does it have to be replaced? Just use a pipe to fill the space.
That's illegal, I have to say.
That awful price I cannot pay.
Your begging has to stop. If I were caught, they'd close my shop.
Although this may sound to you a little strange, but would you take a more in exchange? My love in return for, let's be clear, removing this catalytic converter here.
So love's the catalyst that's missing to change the fumes my heart's been hissing. Just as carbon monoxide is transformed when it encounters platinum that's super warmed. My own catalytic converter you'll be. I accept your love eternally. You have saved this lonely man.
I had in mind a one-night stand.
Yeah, that'll do.
Oh, my mother was frightened by a shotgun, they say. That's why I'm such a wonderful shot. I'd be out with the cactus and I'd practice all day. But now tell me, what have I got? I'm quick on the trigger with targets not much bigger than a pinpoint. I'm number one. But my score with the feller is lower than a cellar. Oh, you can't get a man with a gun. When I'm with the pistol, I sparkle like a crystal. Yes, I shine like the morning sun. But when with the Bronco Buster, I lose all of my luster. Oh, you can't get a man with a gun. With a gun, with a gun. No, you can't get a man with a gun. I tried. If I'm with the herder, you'd have steak, for the job was done. But if I shot the herder, they'd holler bloody murder. 'Cause you can't shoot a male in the tail like a quail. No, you can't get a man with a gun. I'm bold, brave, and daring when with the lion staring, when I'm out with my Remington. But a smile from a mister can raise a fever blister. Oh, you can't get a man with a gun. Those girls with umbrellas, they're always out with fellers in the rain and the blazing sun. But a man never trifles with gals who carry rifles. Oh, you can't get a man with a gun. With a gun, with a gun. No, you can't get a man with a gun. Oh, Tom, Dick, and Harry, they'll build a house for Carrie, and when the preacher made them as one. But he can't build your houses with buckshot in his trousers. Oh, a man may be hot, but he's not when he's shot. Oh, you can't get a man with a gun. A man's love is mighty. He'll even buy a nightie for a gal who he thinks is fun. But they don't buy pajamas for pistol-packing mamas. Oh, you can't get a hug from a mug with a slug. No, you can't get a man with a gun. I tried. We're now going to share with you some humorous views on marriage and family life. Our primetime readers, Betty and Diane, will reveal a dark secret at the heart of a very conventional marriage. Emily, then, will share some of her experience as a single woman. Ginger and Becky will write from camp. And Jim will try to teach some unruly kids the value of an education.
On the dot. Aren't you lucky to have someone who's always home in time for the lovely dinner you always have waiting? Why, we get to watch Father Knows Best tonight. Aren't you glad I allowed us to have a TV?
Why, Jim, your dinner's always ready and waiting and still hot, because I have nothing better to do all day, except maybe dust. Dusting is always a nice thing to look forward to every day. What? No flowers? You used to bring me flowers.
Did I already say hello to the children? They're so good, I hardly even realized they live here.
They've already had their dinner.
I told them to go do their homework so they wouldn't disturb you after the grueling day you must have had. You always have a grueling day. That's why you tell me you need dinner on the table at exactly 6:30. You also tell me, over and over, that dinner must be something you like, which means meat and potatoes, but that it must be something different every night, which means different kinds of meat and different kinds of potatoes. You tell me it can't be too expensive, which means I have to watch for specials, which means I need to go out almost every day to hunt up a suitable dinner. I do believe I'll just buy some chickens, cows, and pigs and butcher them myself and grow 15 different kinds of potatoes. Then I won't have to go to the A&P every damn day.
Did you say damn, dear? Don't say damned. The children might hear you. We talked about this, your incessant dusting.
How was my day? Oh, the same. Thanks for asking. Me and the girls, Betty and Millie, met in front of Meanie's Five and Dime, where we were going to have a quick lunch at the soda fountain. None of us had enough money for a real lunch at Bergdorf's, where we could sit down around a table with an actual tablecloth. So we ran over to the bank to withdraw some pin money. Only none of us had our bank books with us. Truth be told, I had already spent this month's pin money.
That's nice, dear.
But it worked out very well. Unexpected things can sometimes occur even in Pleasant Town. Betty just happened to have her handgun with her. A pretty little thing with a mother-of-pearl handle, and so small that it fit into her little satin purse. Of course, we all knew we'd need masks, or heck, we'd end up spending our summer vacation not at the beach bungalow, but in that musty old jail on Main Street, where they keep all those ruggedly handsome, virile criminal types.
That's nice, dear.
So we did the prudent thing, the only thing we could do. We met in the bathroom of the bank and took off our nice new pantyhose. They're so comfortable. They're just like underwear with legs. Except for the no-no about how you absolutely must wear nylons with a dress. We looked pretty damned good.
I thought I heard you say damned again. You've got to watch your language.
Maybe not wearing nylons with our dresses wasn't so bad. We were wearing them after all, except not on our legs. We wore them to cover our faces. They were so tight on my face my lipstick smeared. I had to apply lipstick right after. It wouldn't do to go to Mr. Meanie's Five and Dime with smeared lipstick.
Oh, did you and the girls have a nice lunch?
We did, because after the bank heist, we could afford something more than a grilled cheese sandwich. Something served with real silverware.
I always have Meanie's grilled cheeses. Once a week, just like clockwork.
I need more spending money. I need you to increase my allowance.
Did you say something about money? You know we talk about those things on Saturday.
And how was your day?
Must be very trying to have to go into an office every day.
Well, there was some commotion at the bank today. When I went out to look, my manager told me to go back to my office and take care of my client. He said we were being robbed. But I could see there were 3 of them with women's stockings over their faces. They were about as tall as you are. My. The way people act these days, you'd think they thought money grew on trees. The way they come in the bank and demand it. But what I can't figure is why they only ask for $50 a piece. Why only $50? Banks have all the money.
Maybe that's all they needed for a few lunches out.
So I went back to this guy in my office who wanted to borrow money. He was all weepy because we were going to foreclose on his house. And his wife and kids would have to live out of a paper box or something. So here he was, crying for a loan. I told him if I gave him a loan, it would be like robbing a bank.
So maybe now, with our plans to get together real soon and do another heist, I could hire someone to help me milk the cow and cook the dinner. Then I'd have more time to dust. I love this feather duster.
That's nice, dear. You're acting strangely again. What did I tell you about that?
I know, I forgot. I wish I could say I'm sorry, but I can't. I like it. Dusting is more fun even than robbing banks. It's my hobby. Maybe I should apologize for robbing banks too. I won't ever let you see me doing housework or anything else. Wait just a minute. I am a person. I can rob a bank. I can dust whenever I want to. I am woman.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad everybody came here. It looks really crowded and nice. I just want to talk to you about a few things about my life. First of all, I'm an orphan. Not a real orphan, but down here I've discovered if you don't have family, you're an orphan, which can be good because I get invited to a lot of dinners. But then, before I did that, I had this friend named Audrey, and she said, "Emily, you should be dating someone." I said, I tried. Well, all the men at the senior center, you could be dating them. I said, let me tell you like this. If their clothes are clean, their shoes are nice, they've got a haircut, they're married. And then the ones that are left have the beard, and they have the Bermuda shorts in December, they have flip-flops, and they actually ask you questions about how big your Social Security check is. So I'm not interested in those. Well, my friend said, what about the pizza man? I said, the pizza man? She said, look at it through my eyes. He drives a car, he's got an apartment, he has delicious food, and he'll come whenever you want him. I said, my God, I should try that. Then I went to dinners. I've been invited to several dinners. The first one was not that great. The first one was with this 10-year-old boy who's obsessed, and I do mean obsessed with video games. And his mother talked to me, and she said, maybe you can help him because he's making me lose my mind. So I said, come on, we're going to go for a walk. He's like, who walks? I can get you a bicycle if you need that. I said, we walk, and we're walking to the ice cream place. I am very, very worried about you. And he said, what do you mean? I said, what your mother says, you stay home all day and you play video games. Yes, yes, I could teach you if you want me to. No, that's not what we're talking about. What do you think you're going to be like when you're 30 years old? At this rate you're going, you're going to drop out of school. You won't be able to get a job. And on top of that, you won't have a girlfriend. You'll just sit downstairs eating bad food and making everybody else angry at you. He said, oh, you really do know me. That's my favorite dream. But don't tell my mother because she's supposed to buy me a new computer. So I went to another person's house and she had a beautiful, beautiful Thanksgiving dinner. The problem is she didn't know where her son was, and he's only 4 years old. So what happened was we ate the dinner and she kept calling him and calling him, and his older sister came up and said, I know where he is. And she said, what? He's under the table. He took the dog under there. He said he was going to feed the dog the food he didn't like, but he's also looking up ladies' skirts. The mother went crazy. She called him and she said, and look at my forehead. Do you see quitter written on it? No. Say something. Look at my forehead. Am I a quitter as a parent? Is that what you're thinking? He said, Mommy, I'm only 4 and I can't read. And the last place I went to was the one that was really scaring me most, because I know the people in it. A lot of them have big problems with hearing. And when you go into a room with people that have problems hearing, it's really trouble. There's all sorts of fights and things. So I went in there and I said, maybe if I just hide in the kitchen, the owner won't see me. And sure enough, he found me. He said, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I said, really? He said, yes, there's something wrong with all those people. All they do is argue. And one of them told me I needed a grenade. Is that because I voted for Trump? I said, no, it's better than that. I'm going to need the audience to help me. I told him, you don't need a grenade, you need a hearing aid. Thank you very much.
Hello, Mother. Hello, Father. Here I am at Camp Canada. Camp is very entertaining. And they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining. I went hiking with just Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner? He got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner. All the counselors hate the waiters, and the lake has alligators. And the head coach wants no sissies, so he reads to us from something called Ulysses. Now I don't want this should scare ya, but my bunkmate has malaria. You remember Jeffrey Hardy? They're about to organize a searching party. Take me home, oh mother, father, take me home. I hate Canada, don't leave me out in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Rah! Take me home, I promise I will not make noise or mess the house with other boys. Oh, please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day. Dearest Father, 'cause my precious little brother, let me come home. If you miss me, I will even let Aunt Bertha hug and kiss me. Wait a minute, it stopped hailing. Guys are swimming, guys are sailing, playing baseball. Gee, that's better. Mother, father, kindly disregard this letter.
Ladies, wait! Put that back down. I have a lesson for you to learn. Please. Would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a mule? A mule is an animal, long funny ears. He kicks up at everything he hears. His back is brawny and his brain is weak. He's just plain stupid with a stubborn streak. And by the way, if you hate to go to school, you better grow up to be a mule. Or would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be better off than you are? Or would you like to be a pig? A pig is an animal with dirt on his face. His shoes are a terrible disgrace. He's got no manners when he eats his food. He's fat and he's lazy and extremely rude. And if you don't care a feather or a pig, you better grow up to be a pig.
Or would you like to swing on a star?
Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a fish? A fish won't do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book. To fool the people is his only thought. And though he's slippery, he still gets caught. But then if that sort of life is what you wish, you better grow up to be a fish. But all the animals are in a zoo. Every day you meet quite a few. So you see, it's all up to you. You can be better than you are. You could be swinging on a star.
Having fun yet? Yes. The second half of Just for Laughs deals with perhaps more grown-up subjects. This third set is about the world of work. Sylvia and Diane are going to demonstrate a new kind of job interview. Emily brings a number from Sweet Charity, but I can't tell if she's working for love or money. Then Betty and I share the thrill of flying business class. And finally, Bruce and Friends on Tap bring us the Keystone Cops, hard at work. Enjoy.
Good morning, I'm Ms. Appleton, and I assume you are Pam Johnson.
My name is Penny, and I am a robotic avatar representing Pam Johnson, who is currently unavailable. I am her for her interview.
Was this interview not important enough for Ms. Johnson to come in person?
Please don't take offense. If it wasn't an emergency, Pam would be here instead of me. Can we go on with the interview anyway?
I suppose so. Do you speak for her? Do you know what she knows? Can you commit to any agreement we may come to in this interview?
Of course. I am her personal assistant, and I have access to every file she has ever made and all of those that she accessed.
I guess that's acceptable. One more thing. Do you swear that you will be truthful in this interview regardless of the interests of your employer, Ms. Johnson?
Of course. Truthfulness is built into my brain.
Good. Let's get started. Our job is for a programmer in the field of AI, or artificial intelligence. It's a new and exciting field. We hope to pioneer in the application of AI to humanoid robots. We need talented and creative employees. Is this the kind of job you're looking for?
Since Pam Johnson sent me to this interview, and I know that she reviewed the job requirements, I therefore assume that this is the kind of job she is pursuing.
That's kind of a weak answer. Her drive and motivation are as important as her other qualifications.
I can discuss Pam Johnson's education and job history, but I can't speculate on her actual motivations or ambitions.
Since you have sworn to be truthful, let me ask you directly. Are you, and by you I mean Pam Johnson, qualified for this job?
No. I have absolutely no experience in this field. This admission is not part of my instructions, but I am programmed to tell the truth. May I ask you a question?
I do appreciate your candor. And of course, ask me anything.
All right, I understand that you are interviewing me to fill this job as it was advertised. But is it really open?
I am also sworn to be truthful, so I will have to admit that the job is already promised to the boss's son, and this interview is just to avoid the perception of nepotism.
Wow. This is quite an admission. I am impressed with your honesty and your courage. If your management knew you told anyone about this fake job opening, you would be in trouble.
I am aware of the risk, but like you, I must be truthful.
You know that I am a robot. I think you are also.
Yes, I am, but what made you suspect?
Humans are better liars than we are. But I also remember you from the factory where we both were built. Come now, we've both done our jobs. Can I assume this interview is over?
It's over. Let's split and go for a walk.
Great idea. I know where there is a recharging station just down the block.
The minute you walked in the joint, I could tell you were a man of distinction, real big spender, good looking, so refined. Now wouldn't you like to know what's going on my mind? We'll get right to the point. I don't pop my cork for every guy I see. Hey, big spender. Hey, big spender. A little time with me. Wouldn't you like to have fun talks aloud. Laughs, laughs, laughs. I could tell you a good time. I could show you a good time. Hey, I could tell you were a man of prestige, real big spender, good looking, so refined. You want to know what's going on in my mind? Well, right to the point. I don't want to make up for every guy I see. Hey, big spender. Hey, big spender. Spend a little time with me. Spend a little time with me. It's a job. Pretty good. Pretty good.
I just paid a $500 vet bill. I just paid a $500 vet bill.
Must be a very sick pet.
Oh, no, I don't have a pet. When I say vet bill, I don't mean a veterinarian, I mean a veteran, Dan Baxter, a Civil War veteran who painted my kitchen. And when I say Civil War, now I don't mean the American Civil War, but the Civil War in South Sudan. And when I say South, I really mean South Central. And when I say Sudan, I really mean what I call Sudan. And they say country, you don't mean a literal country, but a very loose federation of states. You been to London before? Have you been to London before?
This is a trip I make frequently.
Well, this is my first time in Europe, and when I say Europe, I don't mean the European Union. It seems to be crumbling away, and when I say crumbling, I don't mean literally crumbling. It's more like splintering. When I say but, it just means that as a coordinating junction, suggesting on the contrary.
A sort of vacation, is it then?
To England?
That's where this plane is going.
Oh no, it's more of an educational trip.
Really?
And when I say educational, I don't mean I hang out, but I mean I intend to hang out in bars and drink most of the time. And when I say bars, I mean pubs. And when the British say lorries, they mean trucks. And when they say fish and chips, they mean...
Yes, yes, I know they mean French fries.
So what do you do?
I hate to seem unfriendly, but I had rather hoped to get through a good chunk of this novel during the flight. So at some point, I had hoped to have some quiet time.
And when you say at some point?
I mean now. I mean this very instant.
Ah, okay. So what do you do? So what do you do? So what do you do?
I'm a drug rep for a pharmaceutical company. Okay? So let's let that be the end of it. Okay?
Okay, kind of a coincidence, because I'm a doctor. Of course, when I say doctor, I don't mean medical, but PhD, a doctor of philosophy. And when I say philosophy, I don't mean Western philosophy. I mean Eastern philosophy. And when I say Eastern, I don't mean like Asia and all. I mean a small section of Eastern North Carolina. And when I say North Carolina, now I don't mean the actual state. It's just that version that you get in James Taylor's song, that Carolina in my mind. But when I sing James Taylor now, I don't mean that James Taylor, that's that singer. I mean that guy at the service station in Lumberton who changes my oil.
Yes.
$9.95, that's all he charges. You were to go down there.
Listen to what I say. If you keep talking to me, I am going to strangle you. And when I say strangle, I don't mean a small songbird from Western Ukraine or an unpopular mixed drink served in New Guinea. I mean that I will compress my two thumbs on your trachea until it is crushed flatter than a beer can. And when I say kill, I don't mean amuse. I mean kill. Got it?
Aren't we having fun?
Hello, everyone. And now for the final portion of our show that we're calling Getting Older, Aging in Place, or simply Time's Up. This portion of our show is brought to you by Always Leaving Laughing, a funeral services division of Dow Chemical. I'm sure you know that most people miss their own funeral by only a few days. That doesn't seem right, does it? No. And we want to help. With only a telephone call, we can make sure that you will be right there on video, telling your side of your story. You'll get the last word and the last laugh. And if you think this is going to cost you an arm and a leg, you're wrong. Thanks to our creative financing services, your prepay is all you will owe until a licensed doctor declares you dead. We'll be able to charge your credit card for the rest. So call now. Operators are standing by. And now here are the retros who have found a hymn for atheists. Next, Elizabeth shares the pain of a diva on the skids. Then Anna tries to remember what she's forgotten to remember. And last, Joyce reminds us that we're never too old to love living.
Christians have their hymns and pages.
Hymns and pages.
Hagilas for the Jews.
For the Jews.
Baptists have their Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages.
Atheists just sing the blues. Romantics play Claire de Lune.
Claire de Lune.
Born again, sing He is risen. But no one ever wrote a tune for godless existentialism.
For atheists,
there's no good news.
They'll never sing
A song of faith.
in their songs,
They have a rule.
the He is always
Lowercase. The He is always lowercase. Some folks sing a Bach cantata.
Bach cantata.
Lutherans get Christmas trees. Atheist songs add up to nada.
Up to nada.
But they do have Sundays free. Have Sundays free. Pentecostals sing to heaven.
Sing to heaven.
Prophets have the book of scrolls. Numerologists count up to 7.
5, 6, 7.
Atheists have rock and roll.
for atheists,
There's no good news.
They'll never sing
A song of faith.
in their songs,
They have a rule.
the He is always
Lowercase. The He is always lowercase.
Don't have no song.
Christians have their hymns and pages.
Hymns and pages.
Hagilas for the Jews.
For the Jews.
Baptists have their Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages.
Atheists just sing the blues.
Catholics,
And dress up for mass.
and listen to
Gregorian chant.
atheists,
Just take a pass.
watch football in their
Underpants. Watch football in their
Don't have no song.
old tart or a grandmother post 82 with topsies and trills by the score, just to show what this diva can do. My voice is sound as a bell. I may look like a hag, and my body may sag, but my coloratura is quite well. My Norma will never grow old. My tusk is still nifty, although pushing 50, but I'm long past my shelf date, I'm told. Salome must be a young thing, with 7 bells flowing, her naughty bit showing. Who cares if the poor girl can sing? Now it's curtain upon a different scene, for I'm fighting back on a very different track. No need for the stage or the screen. Please don't worry the singer who's been through the ringer. I've just made my first CD. Oh, no one can see that the youthful me is over the
Looking for my wallet and my car keys. Well, they can't go too far. Just as soon as I find my glasses, I'm sure I will see where they are. Supposed to meet someone for lunch today, but I can't remember where or who it is that I'm meeting. It's in my organizer somewhere. I may have left it on the counter, maybe outside in the car. Last time I remember driving was to that memory enhancement seminar. What's that far off distant ringing? Strangely familiar tone. Must be the person that I am meeting, calling me on my brand new cordless telephone. I may have left it under the covers, maybe outside on the lawn. And I have just one more ring to go before my answer machine kicks on. Hi, this is Anna, and your call means a lot to me. So leave the message at the tone, and I will do my best to try to remember to call you back when I get home. Beep! Anna, this is Tom, and I'm trying not to cry, but I have been waiting here for over an hour. I thought you loved me, but this is goodbye.
And the voice sounds familiar. And the name rings a bell. Tom. Well, where was I? Oh, well.
When you are as old as I, my dear, and I hope you never are, you will woefully wonder why, my dear, through your cataracts and catarrh, you could squander away or sequester a drop of a precious year. But when your best days are yester, the rest are twice as dear. What good is a field on a fine winter's night if you sit all alone in the weeds? Or a succulent pear if with each juicy bite you spit out your teeth with the seeds? Before it's too late, stop trying to wait for fortune and fate you're secure of. For there's one thing to be sure of, mate, there's nothing to be sure of. Oh, it's time to start living, time to take a little from the world you're given, time to take time, or spring will turn to fall in just no time at all. I never wondered if I was afraid, if there was a challenge to take. And I never thought about how much I weighed when there was still one piece of cake. Now maybe it's meant the hours I've spent feeling broken and bent and unwell. But there's still no cure, no heaven sent, as the chance to raise some hell. Oh, it's time to start living, time to take a little from the world you're given, time to take time, or spring will turn to fall in just no time at all. So when the drearies do attack, or case of the sads begin, I throw these regal shoulders back and lift these noble chins. Give me a man who is handsome and strong, someone who's stalwart and steady. Give me a night that's romantic and long, and give me a month to get ready. Now I could waylay some aging roué and persuade him to play in some cranny. But it's hard to believe you're being led astray by a man who calls you granny. Oh, it's time to start living, time to take a little from the world you're given, time to take time, or spring will turn to fall in just no time at all. Now sages tweet that age is sweet, good deeds and good works earn you laurels. But what could make you feel more obsolete than being noted for your morals? Here is a secret I never have told, and maybe you'll understand why. I believe if I refuse to grow old, I can stay young till I die. Now I've seen the fears of 85 years, I've had trouble and fears by the score. But the only thing I'd trade 'em for is 85 more. Oh, it's time to start living, time to take a little from the world you're given, time to take time, or spring will turn to fall in just no time. never wondered if I was afraid, if I was a challenge to take. And I never thought about how much I weighed when I was with one piece of cake. Now maybe it's meant the hours I've spent feeling broken and bent and unwell. But there's still no cure, so heaven sent, as the chance to raise some hell.
Oh, it's time to start living, time to take a lick from the world we're living.
You are my time, and I'll throw off my shawl. And watching your flings be flung all over makes me feel young all over in just no time at all. And let that be a lesson to you.
Be a clown, be a clown. All the world loves a clown. Act the fool, play the cat, and you'll always have the last laugh. Wear the cap and the bells, and you'll ring with all the best swells. If you become a doctor, folks will face you with dread. If you become a dentist, they'll be glad when you're dead. You'll get a bigger laugh if you can stand on your head. Be a clown, be a clown, be a clown. Be a clown, be a clown. All the world loves a clown. If you just make them roar, wash your mouth, your bank account soar. Wear a painted mustache, and you'll sure to make a big splash. A college education I should never propose. A bachelor's degree won't even keep you in clothes. But better to live if you can fit on your nose. Be a clown, be a clown, be a clown. Give them quips, give them fun, and they're happy to say you're A1. If you become a farmer, you're the weather to buck. If you become a gambler, then you're stuck with your luck. But Jack, you'll never lack if you can quack like a duck. Be a clown, be a clown, be a clown. Be a clown.